Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our channel once again. And it is my hope and prayer that the video is going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine. As you can see, Kisumu is fantastic. And maybe you could also let me know where you're watching the video from. The county or the country, in case you are out of the republic. And for this particular video, kindly let me know the specific name of the county you are watching us from. Ladies and gentlemen, William Ruto, the president of the Republic of Kenya, today shocked the entire country. William Ruto fired the entire cabinet. He only retained two individuals. Rigathi Gachagua, who is the deputy president. Of course, he can't do anything to Rigathi Gachagua because of the constitution. And he also retained the prime cabinet secretary, Musalia Mudavadi. I'm yet to understand why he retained Musalia Mudavadi, because Musalia Mudavadi's office is even unconstitutional. So in this video, I want us to figure out why William Ruto decided to kick out the entire cabinet. Because for me, that must have been a very difficult move by the president. Some of the cabinet secretaries are actually his close political allies. You talk of Ede Ndwale. He has been with the president for a very long time, a close ally. You talk of Kipchumba Murkomen. Kipchumba Murkomen was the Senate majority leader. Of course, he's been with the president for a very long time. He had to resign as a senator to come and join the cabinet. Someone like Alice Wahome had to resign as a member of parliament to join the cabinet. Some of the members of the cabinet funded William Ruto heavily. Some of them were even the face of William Ruto's campaign. Someone like Aisha Jumwa risked everything, including losing his seat, because I'm 100% sure that if Aisha Jumwa had stayed in ODM party and contested to be the governor for Kilifi, today probably Aisha Jumwa would have been the governor for Kilifi. So it must have been a very difficult move by the president. In this video, I want us to do a critical analysis why William Ruto decided to fire the entire cabinet. Personally, I was shocked. I never imagined that William Ruto would kick the entire cabinet. Of course, it was expected that he was going to fire 1, 2, 3 cabinet ministers. But why do you think William Ruto decided to fire the entire cabinet?
However, even with the progress we have made, I am acutely aware that the people of Kenya have very high expectations of me. And they believe that this administration can undertake the most extensive transformation in our nation's history. Recent events that necessitated the withdrawal of the finance bill, which will require a review and reorganization of our budget and fiscal management, have brought us to an inflection point. Upon reflection, listening keenly to what the people of Kenya have said, and after a holistic appraisal of the performance of my cabinet and its achievements and challenges, I have today, in line with the powers given to me by Article 1521 and 1525B of the Constitution and Sections 12 of the Office of the Attorney General's Act, decided to dismiss with immediate effect all the cabinet secretaries and Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya, of the Cabinet of Kenya, except the Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs and Diaspora Affairs. And of course, the office of the Deputy President is not affected in any way.
Why do you think he decided to fire the entire cabinet? That's exactly what I want us to analyze in this video. But before we do that, allow me to also take this opportunity to introduce you guys to LemFi. LemFi is a mobile money app for users in the UK, Canada, and the United States of America to send money to Kenya. They offer the best exchange rates and the money will be instantly delivered into M-Pesa accounts, Airtel Money accounts, and if you want, into bank account. You can use the link in the pinned comment to download the app. Ladies and gentlemen, let us dive in. Why do you think William Ruto decided to fire the entire cabinet? Number one, I think William Ruto is heeding to the demands of the Gen Zs. Let's face it, the Gen Zs shocked William Ruto. For 3 good weeks, William Ruto never left State House. For 3 good weeks. For 3 good weeks, William Ruto has never left the country. Very few Kenyans had expected the Gen Zs to do what they did. In fact, I was talking to someone and he told me if the Gen Zs had continued with whatever they were doing, probably William Ruto would have resigned. So I think Ruto is now trying now to figure out what's the problem with the Gen Zs. Are they right or are they wrong? So probably William Ruto has realized that the Gen Zs are actually right and is now trying to meet some of their demands. Their first demand was remove the finance bill completely. That has happened because remember initially William Ruto wanted to remove some clauses. Yeah, at the end of the day, everything was removed. Then the Gen Zs also placed another demand on the reconstitution of IBC. That's already happening. You remember when Raila Odinga went to State House and he witnessed the assenting of that bill by the president. The other demand the Gen Zs were placing on the table of William Ruto was for him to dissolve the cabinet. The entire cabinet. Because initially they were like, William Ruto will pick a few guys here and there. But the Gen Zs were very clear, we want the entire cabinet to go. That's exactly what William Ruto has done. I don't want to rule out the possibility that William Ruto might decide to bring back some members of his cabinet. Of course, not all of them were bad. Some of them might be brought back. Someone like, I don't think William Ruto would sacrifice Kindiki. I don't think he will sacrifice Eden Duale. Unless there are other factors. So, the Gen Z's pressure is what William Ruto is trying to head to. Number two, William Ruto is also now trying to win the confidence and the trust of Kenyans back. So, by the way, why do you think the Gen Zs were protesting? They talked of arrogance, extravagance, lack of seriousness, laziness by the cabinet secretaries, by the entire cabinet. So, the Gen Zs listed their demands. William Ruto is trying to meet some of those demands. And that confidence is coming. The first thing he told them, we want you to go away with the finance bill. That was done. The Gen Zs were not satisfied. Then he assented to the IBC bill. Of course, most Kenyans were like, hey, Kwani Raila Odinga, you are betraying us. That was a big story yesterday. Then today, the entire cabinet is gone. If you read the comments online, there is that slowing down on them. They're at least very happy. At the moment, Kipchumba Murkomen is receiving a lot of beating. I don't know why. I've also seen Moses Kuria, people are really mocking him. And I think Eden Duale, So he's trying to win back that confidence. Because remember, William Ruto will need re-election. And his government had become so unpopular. Incompetence was the order of the day. Corruption, you talk of it, was the order of the day. So Kenyans had lost hope in them. So if one of the issues Kenyans were saying, we don't want this finance bill because there's a lot of money and it's going into waste, into corruption. So William Ruto has fired these cabinet secretaries so that if some of them were corrupt, then it marked the end of it. Number three, which is the most important reason why William Ruto decided to fire the entire cabinet, is because of the formation of government of national unity. William Ruto made it clear in his speech. Listen in.
I will immediately engage in extensive consultations across different sectors and political formations and other Kenyans, both in public and private, with the aim of setting up a broad-based government that will assist me in accelerating and expediting the necessary, urgent, and irreversible implementation of the program that we have, including other radical measures and programs to deal with the burden of debt, to explore raising domestic resources and revenues, expanding job opportunities, eliminating wastage and unnecessary duplication of a multiplicity of government agencies, and slaying the dragon of corruption.
Now that's William Ruto. So which means there's likely going to be formation of government of national unity. Raila Odinga is going to come on board. His allies are going to be brought on board. Before I go further, let me take this opportunity to also thank the following people. You are seeing their names on the screen there for the coffee which they sent to me earlier today. It goes a long way in supporting this channel. You can also do the same using the numbers you are seeing on your screen. Ladies and gentlemen, do you support the idea of the formation of government of national unity? If there's one thing which William Ruto has really suffered from, it's the lack of legitimacy. Most Kenya up to now believe that William Ruto never won the presidency, that he rigged himself. But William Ruto has tried everything to win that legitimacy. William Ruto went, he picked Azimio members of parliament, senators, political parties, added them to his Kenya Kwanza. For example, today, the majority party in the National Assembly would have been ODM party. Sorry, not ODM really, but Azimio. But William Ruto went to northern Kenya, he picked the party which had some MPs there, entered into some arrangement. He went, picked Jubilee, entered with them into some arrangement. So most Kenyans never really embraced William Ruto. And if you add to his failure to deliver, he was suffering from that legitimacy. Which means for now, William Ruto must bring on board Raila Odinga to win that legitimacy. That's exactly what Uhuru Kenyatta did in 2017. In 2017, Raila Odinga also believed that he won. So Uhuru Kenyatta then suffered the legitimacy. So he said, okay, the best thing, let me hold hands with Raila Odinga, then the entire country will be with us, then things will move on. So can you imagine that William Ruto is the president of the Republic of Kenya, then the mountain has left him. However much he will have MPs, but now that was a big blow to him. Number 4, I think William Ruto also wanted just to break from political hostage by some of his close allies. Just like I was explaining to you, some of these guys funded his campaign. He made promises. You see, like for example, Aisha Jumwa, Ababu Namwamba. Those are guys who really campaigned for William Ruto. Maybe they even funded his campaign. And in exchange, they were rewarded. Someone like Moses Kuria. Moses Kuria had the option of supporting Raila Odinga. If anything, he's a product of the Odingas. If anything, he was coming from Uhuru Kenyatta's constituency. So it was expected that the first option for Moses Kuria was going to be supporting Uhuru Kenyatta and his candidate, who is Raila Odinga. He never did that. So after losing politically, William Ruto had to reward him because it's Ruto who used him to fight Uhuru Kenyatta. If you look at Professor Kithure Kindiki, so it reached a point where William Ruto could not do anything. These guys were stealing, he could do anything. So he wanted to free himself. I am sure after today, William Ruto will make new appointments. And the expectation is that he will not have any political debt to pay for the new people he's going to appoint. And number 5 is also the political reality, or let me call it the 2027 politics. You see, number 5 is political reality, or let me just call it the 2027 politics. As a matter of fact, and these are the realities, the equation for 2027 is going to be totally different from the equation of 2022. In 2022, William Ruto just figured out that I needed the Kikuyu votes and the Kalenjin votes, then a pocket here, there. This time round, the political reality is that the mountain has drifted away from William Ruto. What does that mean? It means William Ruto will have to look for support from some other places. He will need the support of Raila Odinga. He will need the support of the Luo Nation, the coastal region. He has tried all the tricks to win the support of those areas, not possible. Which means he has now to work with Raila Odinga. He will appoint allies of Raila Odinga, who will then help him. I want to assume that someone like Joho might be appointed to deal with the politics of the coastal region. And lastly, I think William Ruto also wants to stabilize his government. William Ruto's government was one of the most divided. That cabinet, Moses Kuria exchanging with Rigathi Gachagua, Rigathi Gachagua exchanging with the Professor Kithure Kindiki, it was just confused. And also, William Ruto's government never enjoyed the national support. So William Ruto wants to stabilize that government. And of course, by stabilizing it, it means William Ruto will bring a leaner team which he can work with. Constitutionally, the maximum number of cabinet secretaries we should be having in the Republic of Kenya are 20. Are they 22 or 21? Then William Ruto can decide, well, I'm just going to have 15. And professional. Of course, for political reasons, you need a few politicians. But William Ruto's current cabinet was almost full of of politicians. I don't know what you think. That's my take. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. And by the way, what's your take? Do you think the cabinet reshuffle will help William Ruto to win the confidence of Kenyans again? Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.